Welcome back to Blam Blam Truckers. I'm Bees doing another solo EverQuest video for you. This time on the Ranger. That was way too loud. I don't think the mic picked it all up. Even with it back a little bit farther now. We'll move it a little farther back. I get a little loud. Ranger. This is one of my all-time favorite classes. Rangers do a little bit of everything. They're one of the few classes out there that can solo as a melee, and only outdoors, and especially after Planes of Power when they get their AAs that make them amazing. Great farmers, wonderful class. I never really play long enough to max them out and get everything they need. Anyway, in Classic, there are 6 roles. Six roles. This is where I do the obligatory jelly roll, thunder roll, cinnamon roll. Thunder Rolls is a Garth Brooks song, as you guys know by now. Okay. Actually, this might be the only video. I want to know if I should play a Ranger. Rangers are primarily a damage class, so there's 6 roles. There's damage, tanking, healing. Those are the classic 3. Every MMO has classes that can do that, for the most part. MMORPG. Then in EverQuest, you have the special 3. Crowd control, pulling, and buffing, debuffing. Rangers do a little bit of all of it. They're not great at buffing, debuffing, and they're not great at healing. I would never take a ranger to buff, debuff. I would never take a ranger to heal. Having said that, and I wouldn't really choose a ranger to crowd control, honestly. All they get is root and snare, which is enough. But generally, the players don't know how to play it that way, which is too bad because Rangers are pretty awesome and they're great at it. And if you're secondary, if you're not the main tank in a group, and you rarely will be because, hey, who wants a Ranger tank when we could get a real tank? Let's talk about that for a minute. Tanking. As far as holding aggro, you're the best tank in the game, bar none. You get this little spell at level 3 here called Flame Lick. Put that on your spell bar. Never take it off. Go out of your way to go get a Fire Beetle Eye, which you need as a reagent. It's not consumed. You just have to have it in your inventory. Somewhere inside one of your bags, you need a Fire Beetle Eye. Which is ironic, because if you're starting in Kelethin, you have to go over to the smelly place there, Antonica. You have to go over to West Freeport and make that run just to get a Fire Beetle Eye so you can use your class-defining spell. So this little Flame Lick here, okay, we're going to bring the spell up in a separate tab. We're going to look in depth at it. It does it decreases hit points by 1 per tick. Every 6 seconds, it reduces hit points by 1. All this basically does is it takes away their standing regen while fighting for any mob you're fighting. Why is this your standard? Why is this a spell-defining class? Because, and it goes up, maxes out at 17 per tick. It's not a bad spell. Not for 12 mana and a 1.5 second cast time and a recast time, so you can recast it immediately after you use it. It's got a 1.5 second cast time. Cast takes 1.5 seconds, so I guess you can't. I think there's a 1.5 second delay. That's not much in combat. It also decreases AC by 3, which really drives up the aggro. Mobs do not like getting debuffed like that, especially not their AC. And you're going to be casting this 2 to 3 times on every mob you fight if you're trying to hold aggro. Sometimes 4, sometimes 5. But you can just spam Flame Lick and your aggro just goes through the roof. As long as that Flame Lick is on them and it lasts, how many ticks does it last? Does it say here? Every 6 seconds for damage. Every 6 seconds. 6 ticks. So that's 30 seconds. That's 36 seconds. I can do math. I can do math without a calculator. It just takes me a couple tries. That's 36 seconds per tick. Okay. I'm sorry, that's 36 seconds per spell, which means you've got it on there and you keep refreshing it, it's just going to keep the mob pissed off at you, which is what you want when you use Flame Lick. Using this spell alone, you're going to pull off enough aggro to keep the mob on you. Enough hate, however you want to put it. Having said that, you also get, this is pretty awesome, you also get, you are the most, before I get into it's a mishmash. There's a lot of factors that go into tanking. There's a lot of factors that go into damage. Damage is a big factor in tanking. So, yeah. Rangers do more melee damage than any other tanking class. They are one of the top melee builds in the game, by far. And I'm going to show you why. So we're going to pop over here, and we're going to go to skills. Combat skills. Okay, at level 1, you get one-hand blunt, one-hand slash, blah, blah. You get all the regular attacks. Blunts and slashes. Probably piercing. Yeah, you get piercing. Archery, that's going to be your bread and butter later, after Classic. As soon as Luckland drops, you start getting some really cool archery skills, and your bows get better and better. And in Plane and Power, you get headshot and infinite arrows, so you only need one arrow. It's pretty awesome. But that's down the line. Meantime, your archery is better than most, but it's not. That's only because you can get, and I think it's like one exclusive bow. You're good at it, and you get if you get the armor piece from Kunark that allows you to summon arrows. You don't have to keep making arrows. It's nice. Having said that, it becomes amazing after the time period we're talking about. So if you want to keep playing after Classic, and you want to be a ranged damage dealer, this is one of the top ranged damage dealers in the game. It is one of the top melee damage dealers in the game. We're going to go over that. But you are the only tanking class besides warriors to get, where is it? Dual wield. So you can have two weapons up at once. Whack, whack. That doubles the number of times you hit. It doesn't actually double it, but it increases the number of times you hit. Your offhand doesn't hit as often as your main hand, generally. There's exceptions. You can get gear. You can do this. You can do that. Don't worry about it. So you're sitting there doing damage like crazy. That adds to your aggro. Every time you hit adds to your aggro. Rangers hold aggro better than every other class that gets taunt. All of them. You get kick. You and warriors are the only two taunters that get kick. Kick is a damage spell. And I'm sorry, skill. Is a damage skill. It goes up in damage the better you get at it. Bash does not significantly scale in damage. I don't know if it scales at all, but Bash is an interrupt. Kick is not. Kick does more damage. You are a damage dealing class. You also get riposte. Everybody gets riposte. But double attack and dual wield, you get triple attack. You are a damage beast. You're going to hold aggro better than anyone else. And that's not even getting into the rest of your spells, which we're going to get into now. Here we go again on our own. All right, Glimpse. Glimpse is, Salve is again, Gates. You were not going to see that in Classic. Glimpse, great spell. Why? It increases your divination skill. For 5 mana, you can increase your divination skill. You want to get this. This is not a priority. This is something you want to pick up when you have the money and you can afford it. That's it. You are not in any way, shape, or form looking for Glimpse all the time. When you can afford it, preferably before you get camo, you want to buy it and max out your divination. Before you log out, you cast Glimpse repeatedly until you don't need to anymore. You just max out your level with it. You run out of mana. It's something you do before you log out when you still have a full mana bar after you're done at the bank and you're done with all that little stuff that isn't really why I play the game, but I have to do it anyway. Put this in the bag. Send this to the vendor. Send this to somebody, to my seller guy. All that stuff. Just like with, That's Shadow Knight. We haven't covered that yet. But Shadow Knights are going to do the same thing for Feign Death. They're going to put on Endure Cold. Just cast it on yourself repeatedly so that you can max out your, in that case, Abjuration. Well, in this case, it's Divination. And you don't get a lot of Divination spells. You're going to do the same thing with Conjuration in a minute. We'll get to that. Glimpse, again, not a high priority. Nice spell. You're not going to use it much in the game. They thought you would. They were wrong. Lull Animal. Again, this is one you can pick up when you eventually. You may use this in soloing. It's a lull. It reduces your aggro range. Remember? With Bone Crusher, normally the bad guy has an aggro range like this. You hit him with a lull, they get an aggro range like this. You're going to get Harmony, which works outdoor. This is nice. You probably will never use it. Tangling Weeds and Snare at level 6. I have no idea why they put Tangling Weeds in the game. Snare is just a better spell, and they cost the same amount of mana. Maybe it's got a faster cast time. Let's take a look at both of them. Right-click, open a new tab. Right-click, open a new tab. I know it's a Lucklin spell. You're not going to see it in-game, but let's take a look at it anyway. Recast time, 6 seconds, so it's got a 6-second cooldown. Casting time is 0.5 seconds. Snare. Come on, click over. Good job. Casting time is 2 seconds, so it does have a faster casting time, but it has a lower recasting time. It's nice. I would definitely use Tangling Weeds. I probably have, if I've ever, every once in a while. Snare is better all over, but it takes more time to cast. If you're casting in combat, at the very end of combat, I would consider using Tangling Weeds. I wouldn't, though. I really wouldn't. I want that 95%. At level 16, it's a 95% snare slowdown of your movement speed versus 55%. Take the extra 1.5 seconds and get the snare on them. Get it on them at the beginning of the fight. Pull with it if you want to. Actually, pull with your bow. Yeah. Fair enough. Skin Like Wood. This is a great buff. When you're soloing, you're going to have it on all the time. If you don't have a cleric or a druid in your group, put it on yourself. Otherwise, let them do it for you. Minor healing. You can heal yourself, especially out of combat. You are the worst healer in the game. Actually, you're better than Necros. You may get in a healing spell once in a while that saves the day, in a pinch when everybody else is out of mana. Otherwise, it's great for continuing to fight while you're soloing. In a group, you're not going to be doing a lot of healing. You can, like I said, you can hit all 6 rolls, but you're not great at a lot of it. You're amazing at damage. You're amazing at tanking. Oh, the other side of tanking. The reason why you're not the best tank in the game is you cannot wear plate armor. So nobody's wearing plate armor until level 30 or so, as the way the game is designed, unless you're getting twinked. If you start the server bare naked and nobody's giving you any gear, you don't get access to plate armor until bronze starts dropping in basically Castle Mistmoore around 30. It could be, it doesn't have to be Castle Mistmoore. It could be Temple of Khazad-dûr. But it's around 30. Zones around 30. Dungeons start dropping the gear earlier than open zones. So Mistmoore is dropping it around 30. Outdoor zones, you're probably not going to see it until upper 30s, lower 40s. And that's bronze. That's not even steel plate armor. So, yeah, up until that point, your armor is as good as everybody else's armor. And frankly, crafted bandit armor will get you all the way to 50. You're going to want better at that point, but it'll do. It'll get the job done. You can tank with up to into the 40s with bandit armor, and you mitigate the damage just fine. The AC starts to creep up, and after Classic, you're not really going to be a group tank anymore, as much as you'd like to be. But up to 50, 60 or so, yeah. Once Lucklin hits, you're not really a group tank anymore. Sorry, guys. I could be wrong here. If I'm wrong, Rangers, tell me in the comments down below. But You're just not. It is a role you fill, and you fill incredibly well. Incredibly well up until the end of Classic. But we're only talking about Classic here. You can tank. And you can do more melee damage than any other tanking class. You can do more spell damage than every other tanking class. That's impressive. You hold aggro better than everybody. You just keep spamming Flame Lick. Once in a while, you toss in one of your damage spells. You might toss on a dot at the begin, another dot besides Flame Link at the beginning of the encounter. Let it work. Every bit of damage, you're not worried about DPS with your dots. You're worried about holding aggro. And a dot working on them, especially one with a debuff, is going to help hold that aggro. So keep that in mind. Level 9. Endure Fire. Again, you're not seeing the huge damage spells yet. They're not in the game yet. They're coming. Relax. It's going to be nice. Again, this spell, it's nice. Get it, put it on, use it when you need it. It's utility. Dance of the Fireflies. You want this spell. You can only cast it at night. In-game night, not night for you locally. The reason why you want it is because one of your spell lines, maybe two, are conjuration based, and this is your first conjuration spell. It only costs 10 mana. When it is nighttime out, and you're, type in /time in the game, if it's after, I think, 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. or whatever, start casting Dance of the Fireflies. You have to destroy them. I think, are they lore? Oh, we're going to take a look. I could do that as Mickey. Oh, we're going to take a look. Lore item. Yeah, you got to destroy them after you use them, after you create it. But you just blow through your mana bar, get your conjuration up. Just like you did with Glimpse, just like Shadow Knights do with Endure Cold. Yeah, a lot of your spell casting abilities you'll get through use, and once you get conjuration up to the point that you can use it with your dots will get it through use. It will keep it up through use. Feet like Cat. Well, this is useless. Don't bother buying it. It increases your agility, which does almost nothing for you. After 75, and all rangers have more than 75 agility, I believe. Oh, let's go take a look at We're scrolling again, folks. You know you love scrolling. 3 classes can be rangers in Classic. All of them have agility over 75. What is the best class? What is the best race to be a ranger? It's human. Human is my choice. Actually, I always make a wood elf. Half elves are great. I like wood elves. But humans have the highest strength. They have the highest stamina. They don't have the highest dexterity, but they're at the 75 soft cap, not cap, and they have 80 wisdom. Yeah, that's nice. Half elf, 75 strength, 80 stamina. Dexterity is the highest, 85. Who cares about agility? It's over 75. Who cares? And wisdom of 65. We don't care about charisma. We don't care about int. That's a low wisdom there for the half elves. That's a kick in the pants. I would go human or wood elf if I were you. When excuse me. When halflings get into the game, they make the best rangers by a lot. Their wisdom is as high as wood elves. Their strength is almost equal to humans, and their stamina is up there. Their agility and their dexterity is through the roof. Halfling rangers make the best rangers, if you care about that. But you may not. It's up to you. But humans and wood elves, I would stick with human or wood elf if I were you. Back to the spells. Feet like Cat, again, agility is useless. Cure Poison. Get it, use it, love it. Thistle Coat. Ha 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 ha. You want this spell. You want this spell, you want it up all the time. This is a self-only damage shield. So if you're tanking, you're getting hit, right? Right. This, you're not the only class. Shadow Knights get a self-only damage shield too. Yours, however, keep getting better. Put Thistle Coat on, it gives you armor class. You need armor class. Put Thistle Coat on, it gives you a damage shield. You need damage shield. Every time you get hit and you do damage to them, that adds to your aggro. You're hitting more often than other tanks, except for warriors. You're getting hit and you're doing damage to them. You have your ongoing, you're keeping on your obnoxious little flame lick on them. And all in all, you just scream aggro. Once you get a mob's attention and you get taunts so you can snap their attention to you, you have a hard time getting rid of aggro when you're tanking as a ranger. I don't know why you'd want to, but wizards have a hard time pulling off of you. You piss off the mob, which is what you're designed to do. You're arguably the best tank in Classic. You're not, but you're easily the best group tank in Classic until plate drops in the 30s. So from 1 to 30, you're killing it. And then from 30 on, you're still close in AC up to about 50. You can tank. The better your gear, the better you can tank. That's true for every class, but people who don't think Rangers can tank are wrong. People who don't think Rangers do damage are wrong. Next level. Camouflage. This is why we got Glimpse out and Mastered Divination, so you can invis yourself. Camouflage is invis. Burst of Flame. Excuse me, I got some kind of phlegm thing down here. It's been driving me nuts the last week. Burst of Flame. For 7 mana, you decrease hit points by 10. Maximum of 14. This is not a world-changing spell, but it's the first of your direct damage spells. Get it, use it, love it. It only takes, we're going to bring this up. It takes you out of combat when you are, so you're not swinging while you're casting. So it takes you out of combat for 1.5 seconds. Okay. That's not that bad. Like, your job in a group, whether you're tanking or not, is to snare the mob. It is also to damage the mob. Whether you're tanking or not, you are a major damage class. You're going to use snare on every fight. You're not necessarily going to use your direct damages on every fight or your dots on every fight. But they're there for you to use when you need it. When you need to do burst damage, Rangers are the melee masters of burst damage. Not damage over time, but burst damage. You're great at it. Next level, 15. This is when you start coming into your own. Grasping Roots. That's an awesome spell. We talked about it with Druids. It is a root that does damage, and then it does root. And now you can park mobs. Not only melee mobs, which are most of the mobs in the game, but you can park mobs. Doing this today, or yesterday, whenever it was, I was fighting in Chardok. One of my guildmates is making up a ranger. We're leveling them up. They're in their 40s. Grouped with my 50-something rogue in Chardok. I was barely getting any experience, but I was having fun, which is how you know you're playing the game right most of the time. As long as nobody else is getting hurt from the way you play it. So, Grasping Roots. You pull the mob away from the group. You park it with a root. You go back and you fight the main mob. As a ranger, I did this all the time. When I was tanking or not, if I'm tanking, I want someone else to be main assist. Somebody else chooses the mob we're going to be fighting. My job as a tank is to get everyone's aggro or park everybody. That's why I'm looking forward to the paladin. Well, I am really tempted to make a monk and a paladin. I might have to do that. I don't know. That way I can tank when I want to and pull when I want to. Grasping Roots is a game changer. We've talked about this many, many times. So you're fighting both. So you've got here, come on. Come on, Tankatron. Alright, so Optimus here is the tank. He's fighting Megatron and Bone Crusher. You're fighting. You pull them off to the side away from your group. You cast Root on Bone Crusher, the melee here. So he stays there. You go back over toward your group, and you keep beating on Megatron. While he's over here going, I can't do anything, but I'm very, very mad. That's what I'm talking about. That's CC. You can handle CC as well as any other rooting class. And you know what? You probably will do it a lot more often because when you're not the tank, when you're the off tank. So you're the off tank now. I don't have enough hands for this. You're playing Ranger Boy, who's green. Might as well. Optimus is fighting Megatron and Bone Crusher as the tank. So Optimus is tanking. Told you I don't have enough hands for this. So he's really fighting Megatron, but Bone Crusher's there too. You have no other CC in the group. You go up to Bone Crusher, you flame link him twice. Now he's on you. You pull him over here, and you root him. They're still fighting. You leave him there rooted, and you go back to the fight. Then, when it's time, Optimus will go over to Bone Crusher, attack him, and then bring him back to the fighting area. Stop Flame. Hopefully, Flame Lick will be off by then. But you let Optimus get that aggro, and you stay under the radar after that, to the best of your ability. All right, 16. Oh, Invoke Lightning. This is an area effect spell. You'll never use it. That's not true. It is a direct damage. If you're fighting in a group, it is rarely used. It's a nice little addition when after the enchanter goes down, or if there's no enchanter in the group. It breaks mez. That's why we don't use a lot of targeted AE spells. Excuse me. Panic Animal. Level 16, you get Panic Animal. So you snare the animal, you fear the animal, you get behind the animal, and you attack it. That is fear kiting. You're great at it, but only for animals and only outdoors. Ward Summoned. You can do damage to summoned stuff. It's nice. Paladins go crazy over their Ward Undead spells. Your Ward Summon spells, they're just a nice addition. You do crazy damage without it. Fire Fist, level 17. That is a self-only attack boost. That's a nice spell. Keep that one up. Bind Sight. You will probably never use this, but I have. I used to love to do this on raids. I would. Because I'm sitting there, I'm not pulling as a ranger in a raid. Monks do that. Bards do that. Other classes can, but they won't. You sit there and you got nothing to do but med, so you're sitting there medding. You throw Bind Sight on the puller, and you're following them around the zone and watching what they're and seeing what's coming. And then you click it off as the puller gets close, stand up, and run in and do your damage. 19, Endure Cold. It's nice. Get it, use it. If you're fighting solo mobs against that do cold damage, now you've got a cold resist. Yay. Ignite. This is a nice one. 19, you get your next direct damage single target spell. And for 21 mana at max, you can do 46 damage. But, and you're going to be close to that when you get it. It is a nice little spell. This one you're going to start using. A lot more than you did Burst of Fire. You will actually see the difference on the health bar when you use it. You start to come into your own here. 20, Light Healing. Get it, use it, love it. Enduring Breath. Go buy a stack of fish scales from a vendor. Check out eqtraders.com. Find out where they have fish scales. Buy a stack. Now you can fight underwater. Yay. 21. I gotta scroll down. It's useful. It's very nice. You get a lot of great buffs as a ranger, but nobody thinks of it because they're all druid buffs, which is fine. 21, you get Skin Like Rock. Again, same like Skin Like Wood, but an upgrade. Cure Disease at 22. Get it, use it. Yay. When you get bit by rabies, you can get rid of it now. It's nice to have. Use it. 22, you get Harmony. This is an amazing spell. It is the only targeted area of effect lull in the game, which means for you to lull, unlike everybody else, if Megatron and Bone Crusher are standing there, both with their, crazy perception, you hit them with Harmony, and both of them go to nothing. Reduces reaction radius. Excuse me. 24, Shield of Thistles. This stacks with Thistle Coat, or whatever that, your self-only damage shield. Now you have 2 damage shield working. If you're tanking, that's 2 damage shields hitting them every time they hit you. You're not losing aggro. You're pissing them off left and right. Remember Dance of the Fireflies? Well, apparently Rangers like insects, because next thing, here at 25, so Dance of the Firefly was back here. And I skipped it, and that was a mistake the first time I made a ranger. Back at level 10, you get Dance of the Fireflies. I don't need that, I'm a wood elf, I can see things. Yeah, well, that conjuration work that you've been putting in for the last 15 levels just paid off. This is your first dot, your first of the insect line of dots. You're going to use this more often than probably anyone else who dots except for Shadow Knights. in groups. You're going to use this if you're tanking, because it's one more bit of damage that keeps the mob on you. I'm not saying you're going to use it all the time, but on the big mobs that are coming in, you're gonna drop it on them. The yellows, not the light blues, but the yellows, you're gonna drop it on them. Strength of Earth. Rangers and druids get the best strength buffs in the game. Having said that, people rarely ever ask you for it, but this increases your melee damage. If you notice, rangers are great at increasing their damage. Get it, use it, love it. Eyes of the Cat gives you infravision. Only humans need to buy this spell. I'm not kidding. It's self-only. It is worthless. All the other three classes that can be races that can be rangers, halflings, half-elves, and elves all already have infravision. Why are they giving us this spell? Only for the humans! Yay. If you're a human, use it. If you're not, don't bother. 29, that's Lucklin and Plains of Power, though. Flaming Arrow is a nice direct damage spell. So is Riftwind's Protection is a single target damage shield. I think it stacks, I'm not sure. But it's nice. Anyway, Cancel Magic. Get it, use it, love it. You can take buffs off mobs. If you aren't the main tank, and most of the time you're not going to be, you're just there to do damage, and you do a lot of damage, you will notice that taking off, hit point buffs and haste and all those things reduces how much damage we take from the mob and how much damage we have to do to the mob. Use Cancel Magic. Barb Coat. Self-only damage shield. Upgrade. Use it. Love it. Calm Animal. Again, you've got Harmony now. You really aren't probably going to use this. But if you do, good for you. Healing. Upgrade. Wonderful. See Invis. Nice little buff. Keep it on. You never know when it's going to... If you leave it off for a while, not a big deal. But you never know when a mob's going to be invisible. Actually, we do know when most mobs are invisible. It is still a very useful spell. Dismissed Summon. Again, more damage against summoned mobs. There's not a lot in the game until the end game, but when they show up, they're nice to use. Bramble Coat. Again, self-only damage shield. Didn't we just get one of these? We did. This is a quick upgrade, huh? What's the difference here? Barb Coat can increase your AC by 5. This increases it by 9. No, it's just a straight upgrade. From 30 to 35. 34, sorry. Weird decision on their part, but I'll take it. Make sure your abjuration is staying up there. Levitate. When you get this, go buy a stack of bat wings from a vendor. Check out eqtrader.com. Find out where the nearest vendor is. Go buy a stack of bat wings, maybe 2, and you can float whenever you want to. And run over things, like on 100 feet over in the air. It's a nice little spell. Not game breaking, but nice. Call of Sky. We're going to look at this. This is a Velious spell. Go get this before it is time, if you can. Is this a quest? Sold by 3. Who sells this thing? It's sold in the Ice-Clad Ocean by Zorbin Asticalis. Zorbin Asticalis Zimralicus. He sells a lot of spells. He's easy to get to. Before this comes up, go get this. Proc buffs are wonderful. The Paladin one is great. This is wonderful. It comes in Velious. Go get it. Use it. Love it. All right. Nature's Precision. I'm not going to be talking about that because it's in Lucklin. Careless Lightning. This is a single target spell. And magic resist. You have fire resist, you have magic resist, and then you have the bugs, and I don't remember what they are. Disease, maybe? Maybe magic. But this is your magic resist, your magic-based damage line of spells. It does. You'll notice it's more mana efficient than the fire ones were. You're going to love this. Skin like steel, upgrade. 39, the only stuff you get is upgraded. Very nice stuff from Planes of Power. Harmony of Nature may be able to be used indoors. I'm not sure. I'm not going to look. Yakisha spell, Swarm of Pain. Wonderful. Another Eldon spell, not us. Original. Hey, we're back at 42. So you get 2 levels with no spells. 42, Spike Coat, self-only damage shield. Pretty nice. Next level, regular damage shield. Very nice. Greater healing, Immolate, blah, blah, blah. Ensnaring Roots, where is Jolt? That's the question. Ensnaring Roots, Resist Fire, Superior Camouflage, Force of Nature. These are all upgrades. They're nice, but nothing really to talk about here. Wolf Form at 48. Ding, 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 we have a winner. Turns you into a wolf, increases your movement speed by 30, which is as good as so. Did I skip over Spirit of Wolf at 28? I did. Spirit of Wolf, 28. You are one of 4 classes that can increase your mana speed, your movement speed. That's pretty awesome. Back to wolf form. So not only does it stack with, it doesn't stack with so, but you can have them both up at the same time in case this drops. Increases your movement speed, just like so does. Increases your attack significantly. Be a wolf. Be a puppy dog. You want to be a puppy dog? Be a puppy dog. All right, original Call of Flame. All right, now we're seeing some flame-based single target direct damage spells that are doing pretty amazing work. I think you have to do a quest to get that, but I'm not sure. You can look it up. Call of Earth in Velius. Again, a damage shield increase. I want to say these all stack. And in Kunark, level 50, Jolt. Get this spell. You have to do a quest for it, I think. Oh, I'm double checking. Come on. Click correctly there, bees. You got this. Sold by 5. Abysmal Sea. Eventually he's Freeport. Feronia Vi. That's interesting. When do you come into game? Kunark. Really? Huh. You can just go buy it. Wonderful. Jolt. This wizards have to do a quest to get concussion. Jolt reduces your aggro. This is a transition period. With Kunark, they start to transition Rangers away from being tanks and making them pure melee damage machines. At 50, you can decrease your hate by 500 by casting this spell. So it just lowers you on the aggro list, like Evade does for rogues. It's great. Put it on your mana bar, on your spell bar. Never take it off. When you want to go lower in aggro, use Jolt. It's that simple. And so now you have control over your own aggro. You should never pull off a tank again unless you want to. And if you want to, you can. You're a ranger. You do a lot of damage. All right, Velia's Strength of Nature at 51. That's pretty nice. Max hit points. It increases your max hit points. That's nice. Increases your attack. That's nice. You start getting your disciplines. You get Ensnare, which is it's not really a better snare, it just lasts longer. I would stay with the original snare. I really would. Why? Why upgrade? The original snare, if it lands, is wonderful. All right, 52, Falcon Eye. That's in Lucklin. Yakisha, original Fire Strike. Get another single target damage spell. That's awesome. You're getting very mana efficient here with your spells. Storm Strength. That's a nice little spell. It increases your strength, which increases your melee damage. Get it, use it, love it. Drones of Doom. Get it, use it, love it. Single target, dot. This is really cool. I'll talk about it for a second. Jolting Blades is a proc. What it does is it procs Jolt. So it lowers your... If you're in a situation where you're doing tons of damage and you're pulling off the tank, throw Jolting Blades on. I wouldn't. I'd keep up the other one, do the damage, and just throw in Jolt once in a while when I need it. Skin Like Diamond. Increases maximum hit points, increases HP, and increases AC. This is a wonderful spell. Get it, use it, love it. Druids have had it since 36. You have to wait till 54. Get another Discipline. You do get one discipline. Where is it? No, that's not it. One of your disciplines is a riposte discipline, and you cannot take melee damage while that thing is up. It's fantastic. Cinder Jolt. So now you have a second Jolt spell, so you can cast 2 Jolts, in case one right after the other now. Wonderful. Chloroplast. That's a targeted regen. It's wonderful. Use it. Get it, use it, love it. You have a lot of utility. Call of Fire adds a fire proc, and that's Invelius. Get it, use it, love it. Fire Swarm, you get another. Oh, that's Eldon. Sorry. True Shot Discipline. So this is, like I said, they're transitioning you over to an archer. In Velius, you get True Shot Discipline. Increases your archery skill check by 12%. Increases archery damage modifier by 105%. So while this is up for those 30 seconds or a minute or whatever it is, you aren't going to miss, and you're going to do double damage with your arrows. Pretty nice. Resist Cold. Yay. Get it. Use it. Love it. Greater Wolf Form. Get it. Use it. Love it. It's like the regular Wolf Form, but better. You can't ever do it group, but who cares? Chill Sight gives you Ultra Vision. You can skip that one. You can get it. It's nice, but you can also skip it. Unless you're a human, and even then, turn the gain up on in your options. You'll be fine. You can get a few. Oh, that's Eldon. Original Shield of Spikes. Again, damage shield. I don't nullify magic upgrade to cancel magic. Now you can cancel 2 buffs at once. Kunark, you get Dust Devil at 59, which is a single target damage. Wow. That is ridiculously mana efficient. 582, look at this. 582 hit points for 162 mana. That's over double. That's fantastic. That would be my go-to spell as a ranger if I ever got to level 59 and had that spell. You also get Skin Like Nature, which is nice. Bop, 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 bop. And then we're at 60. Velius, Call of the Predator, increase attack by 40. Get it, use it, love it. Doesn't change your playstyle, but who cares? Weapon Shield Discipline increases. Oh, it's not riposte, it's parry. You cannot be hit. You will parry 10 every melee attack that comes at you from the front. You cannot be hit while that weapon shield is up. That's fantastic. That's like 10 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever it is of invulnerability. Effectively, it's not. You can still take mana, range damage and magic damage, but wow, you get a longer lasting root. Wonderful. Does more damage. Also wonderful. And you get another Self Thorn Coat. That's it. That's the ranger. I really want to be done with this, but I'm going to go on and talk to you about bows. Bows and arrows, because you are the Robin Hood class, and you are fantastic at it. Not a lot of love out there for rangers. You're going to be fighting some prejudice built into people who still think they're as bad as they were back in Classic with their experience, penalties, and whatnot. Yeah, that's not true anymore. Rangers are fantastic. Fletching. I covered this with the Paladin. I'm going to cover it with you guys much, much faster. Since you're going to be eventually a bow class, come here to the P99, what do you call it, website, and you're going to come down to this chart here, the cheapest way to fletch. I highlighted it for you, the cheapest way to fletch. It will get you up to 202. It will cost you a lot less money than any other way to do this. And all you do is you buy 1,000 of the Field Wood Round Large. The cheapest of the 1,000 of them is going to cost you like a plat. So it's like 4 plat, a plat for the a platinum piece for the and a little bit for the fletching kit. And this is cake, especially the new changes. They're not that new. The trade skill changes from like 10, 15 years ago. I told you they weren't that new. You can just set it to, make all. Well, you want to watch it while you're doing it. So when you get up to, you put these 4 in there. You type in class 1 arrow, and you get options. And one of them is the 16, trivializes at 16. You run that till you hit 16. Then when you hit 16, you stop, and you do the next one, where you still use. So the idea here is you use the cheapest stuff for 3 of the ingredients, and then the more expensive one for the fourth ingredient. And by doing that, so here it's the knock, here it's the fletch, here it's the knock again, then it's the shaft. I said shaft. Then it's, can you dig it? Then it's the fletch again. And finally, down here, when we're getting up to one, from 82 to 102, you're going to make a hooked arrow. Hey. Then you go back to it being the fletch. Then it's the shaft. Then it's the fletch. Then it's the tip one more time, the point. This time with silver tip. This is when things start getting expensive. That's like 4 plat per arrow right there. Then you change it again to the fletch, to the shaft. Yeah, the fletch, which actually makes getting from 162 to 182 more expensive than getting from 182 to 202. When you're done with this, and I'm not saying you have to do it in one session, but you can start once you get a couple of plat under your belt, usually around like level 5 or 10. It's not that hard. You collect all your rusty weapons and sell them. Go buy the House of Thule expansion, get the 2 bags on your character, the 2 weightless bags on your character, and go buy some other bags. Fill them all up, go sell. Fill them all up, go sell. Especially rusty weapons. Anyway. Yeah. So you get this, you max this out to the level you need to. You are concerned with, so Paladins, Shadow Knights, and Warriors. I covered this with them. I covered it with Paladins. I plan on doing it with Shadow Knights and Warriors. They are only really concerned about range to begin with. You aren't. You want if you want to keep your archery up so that it's at max level by the time Velius starts dropping some decent uses like the True Shot Discipline, decent uses of your bow, then you want to have a bow the whole time, and you want to do a little bit of bow damage, every time, every couple of mobs. Throw a couple arrows into them. Keep your archery up. You can also solo with archery, but you want to keep your archery up. You're looking for a good ratio. These are the bows. So as you go through here, you can get it shows you what the ratio is right here in this column. And as you go through, you get better and better ratios. Eventually, you're going to find yourself with one of the best bows in the game, or one of the top bows, or something that you picked up. The True Shot bow is an entire quest you can do as a ranger. Let's talk about ranger quests for a minute. Still trade skills, rangers, quests. There's some really nice quests out there in Classic. One of them for Classic before is the Raincaller quest and the True Shot longbow. You got to do Raincaller. You got to do True Shot to get Raincaller, I think. Yeah. So you do this. You have to obtain the True Shot longbow. Then you go through and do this quest, and you can get Raincaller. That's Raincaller. One of the best ratios in the game, though it is a long delay. 2045, so that puts you a little under 0.5 for a bow. That's in Classic. That's solid. There are better bows out there. You probably get a drop in. You can get a drop in the Hole, or in Sebelis or Chardok. I forget which one it is. There's another bow, Skycaller or something like that falls. It has stats on it. It's got a great ratio. This quest is not that hard to do. In your 40s, no less. It says 35, but I was in my 40s when I pulled this off. And I kept it as a stat bow until I got something better. It's fun. The command /auto shoot. You should /auto fire. One word, auto fire. Makes you changes your melee into a constant thing. Just like auto attack, this is auto shoot, auto fire. Changes your range into a constant thing like melee is. Beyond that, I think we covered just about everything. You are a damage beast. You are up there with monks and rogues for damage. You are not all the way up there with monks and rogues, but you're up there. You do a lot of damage. You only get one attack, kick, but kick scales. So you don't get 2 attacks like a monk, and you don't get backstab like a rogue, which is just crazy damage. But you do get kick. you should be in there fighting. You get a lot of procs that you can add on top of the procs on the weapon. Proc is when it goes off when you're doing damage. It goes through a process. It has a chance of procking. That's what we call it. So when you're melee fighting with two weapons, you have a chance of procking on top of your weapon procs. So if you put in two melee augs, which give weapon procs, and your weapons have procs on them built into the weapon, like the short sword of Yakisha, and on top of that you have your ranger weapon procs, you're just sitting there doing damage with melee damage, and then spells start going off and doing damage to the mob as well. That allows you 3 levels of procs with 2 weapons. That's impressive. That's a lot of extra damage. On top of that, when you're fighting a big mob, and you know what, if it's resistant to fire and magic, you're kind of up a hole. But if it's not too resistant to one of those, or up a creek, I should say, then you can just slam it with fire damage. If it's magic resistant, you hit it with fire damage. If it's fire resistant, you can hit it with magic damage. If it's resistant to both, you got melee, and you got a lot of it. Rangers get a really bad rap because of old things that aren't in the game anymore. They can tank well into the 40s, all the way up to 50, and they can do. I was doing pretty good in my 50s tanking in Old Sebelis the last time I tried to do this, which was 2023, 3 years ago. I didn't have a problem mitigating the damage all the way up to Old Seb, so take that for what you will. I still couldn't get groups. That's why I quit the Ranger. I could not get groups. I love the character, but I couldn't get groups for 2 weeks in a row, and I had enough, and I started playing something else. So think about it. Consider it. Do what you do you. Rangers, and that wasn't because I couldn't do the job. I was doing the job. I was fighting in the throne room and Old Seb. There's higher level groups out there, but not many in Kunark. That's one of the highest level group content areas in the game for that expansion. And I was holding my own as the tank. And then I would go in and I was exceeding my own as one of the damage dealers. It's a great class. It gets a lot of hate, which is too bad. That's slowly being, I think the community is slowly noticing that Rangers aren't as bad as they used to be. But they haven't been that bad for like 10, 15 years. So it's taken them a long time to realize this. Plus, it's a new community. The TLP community is bringing it back. All right, that's it. That's all I got. Hope you enjoyed. Next one is Rogue, maybe? I don't know. Let's take a look. Rogue is going to be a short video. Oh, Rangers can track and forage. Tracking is huge. You're the best tracker in the game. This is not generally a group thing. This is a camping thing or finding a specific mob thing. But put it into your key binding so that you're always hitting the track button every time you hit left or right, and you're always foraging whenever you hit left or right. One goes to left, one goes to right. I use A and D, whatever keys you use to go left and right. Set up that key bind, and you will max out your tracking and your foraging skills. You may not want to fill your bags up with forage stuff. You may create an auto drop macro off that. You may put an auto inventory macro off that. It's entirely up to you. I keep all my stuff and I give it away to trade skillers because you can max baking and brewing off of stuff you get from what do you call it there? Foraging. It's used in a lot of recipes. It's also used in trade skills. So max it out. If you're interested in trade skills or want to support your group, max out foraging. Tracking, you have the best tracking in the game. You can track an entire zone. So you can just pop into a zone at the entrance, pull up your tracking, put it in alphabetical, and look for the mob you're looking for. You'll see if it's up or not, and you've tracked the entire zone, even the big zones when you've got it maxed out. And then if you want it, you click on it, and it'll lead you to that mob. It's a great skill to have. It really helps you when you're tracking down mobs like Quillmane. That's just one example. Or you're trying to get your, what do you call it? The quiver, the fleeting quiver. There's only one mob that drops, it's a trade skill thing. There is one mob, the Highland Lion, I believe it is, that drops the skin you need to make a fleeting quiver, which is the best. So, because you do archery and eventually, with Velius and True Shot Discipline, you are going to want the quivers because quivers reduce the speed, reduce your delay for your bow. And the True Shot quiver is the best quiver in the game until like Omens of War or something. So for well over a year. And yeah, go be a ranger. Be safe, guys. Keep on trucking, you blam blam truckers. Good luck.